Alright everybody, welcome back to Conqueror and Commander. This is a game featuring my Vish Kal Blood Arbiter deck. For the complete deck list, go to puremtgo.com. Check out Conqueror and Commander, my article series, and you'll see the deck list written out all nice and neat. My opponents today are Trostani, Celestia's Voice, who is basically a bunch of tokens, and Jacques Vert, who I guess is typically green creatures? I'm not sure. I don't really see this sketch often. Zhao Dun is here as well, but he actually ended up dropping after the second turn because he was having connection issues. So it's really a three-person game. My hand has 3 lands and Phyrexian Arena, and I can cast it on turn 3, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that. It also has Viscopa Guildmage. So Jacques, first turn suspends Greater Gargadon, which is interesting. I end up playing the Guildmage just because I want to have a threat out there so I can beat up on stuff. Trostani doesn't have any colored mana yet. And then Jacques, Sylvan Scryings for Contested Cliffs. So he's obviously a beast deck. He's got Greater Gargadon right here too. It'll be interesting to see what he plays because I haven't seen a beast deck in a while. Since Trostani's having a little bit of color issues, I go ahead and attack Jacques Vert, and then I cast Phyrexian Arena so that I can start drawing cards. Trostani misses a land drop. Jacques plays Anger and attacks me, and also has Kessig Wolf Run. So he's got some good lands out there. I draw Kokusho and a Swamp, and I attack Jacques and give the Guildmage lifelink. So I'm back up to 39 now. Trostani draws a land and plays Wood Elves. I also played Blade of the Blood Chief just to have it out there. Hopefully next turn I'll be able to equip it. And Jacques sacrifices Anger to Greater Gargadon. I don't really like the idea of him having a bunch of big beasts coming out with haste, so I have to do something about the Anger. Rock's Faithbender is in Trostani's graveyard, so obviously that was supposed to help him out with his lifelink and life gain stuff. I've got Puppeteer Click. I can go ahead and use that to get rid of the Anger if necessary. He plays Kazandu Refuge to gain a life, and Drum Hunter doesn't attack. I draw another land and Machias. I give Viscopa Guildmage lifelink. I attack Trostani, and I put Blade of the Blood Chief on the Guildmage. Skyshard Claim for Trostani to get Dryad Arbor, which is interesting. So obviously Trostani no longer has any issues with mana. Feral Throwback, friggin' awesome. Nice to have Provoke Dude with Amplify 2. He reveals... Oh yeah, he ends up playing Temple of the False God. He reveals Tephroderm. And with the haste in his graveyard, with Anger in his graveyard, he's able to attack me right now and provoke my Guildmage. So he kills it off. Now at this part, I'm thinking a little bit greedily. What my plan is to cast Machias, and then the next turn cast Kokusho and sacrifice it to High Market, and then do it again the following turn. But things don't work out like that. This turn I decided to cast Puppeteer Click to get rid of Anger, so that I don't have to worry about fast, quick beasts. I don't attack with it, I just let it die, or get exiled. Trostani has Mitotic Slime out with High Market, so he can make a bunch of little dudes if he wants. I've got Return to Dust, but no real targets right now. There's Tephroderm, and he provokes my Puppeteer Click. There's nothing in anybody's graveyard except for the Rock's Faithbender. So because of that, I get a little greedy, and I decided to skip my Machias plan and play Kokusho and try to sacrifice it so that I could double my life gain. Forgetting that he does have Feral Throwback and Contested Cliffs out there. So when I play Kokusho, and then I attack just to get some extra life, and then I sacrifice Kokusho to high market, that's when he uses Contested Cliffs to get rid of the Faithbender. So, I mean, I'm still up to 53, which is good. Trostani sacrifices that Beastmaster Ascension. Oh boy. So he goes after me. And I drop to 47. So Beasts actually have a couple of cool little cards here. You know, Wirewood Savage is going to help him draw. I get attacked by the Tephroderm, and he sends Feral Throwback after Trostani. He provokes Dryad Arbor, but he ends up just tapping it for mana, so he can't block. And then he plays Indric's Top Power to get rid of the Ascension, which is good because, you know, I really didn't want to waste Return to Dust or Vindicate on Beastmaster Ascension. This is one of those games where these guys do a lot of the hard work against each other. I end up sitting back and doing nothing until one of them eliminates the other one. I draw Nim Death Mantle, Darksteel Ingot. I play the Ingot, and then Death Mantle. My hope is that the click can last one more turn, and if I have to, I can Death Mantle him back and get his Mitotic Slime. So, Trostani Reap and Sows, getting rid of Jacques, whatever the heck it is, Contested Cliffs, which is a good plan. And then he harmonizes. Oh yeah, he also, it's entwined, so he gets Gaia's Cradle. And he harmonizes now. And gets Earthcraft. Now, Earthcraft is an old school card that likes to combo with Squirrel Nest, I believe, and Concordant Crossroads. So it's a little bit of a concern that he's got Earthcraft out there, because it's possible that he can make infinite tokens, but he doesn't have that going right now. All he's doing is untapping his forest a bunch to play Oracle of Modiah, which has Avenger of Zendikar on top of his library. So now is about the time to start worrying a little bit, because Avenger of Zendikar with Gaia's Cradle can be a lot of mana. So Jacques plays Brawn, and then he ends up sacrificing Brawn to Greater Gargadon to give all his dudes trample, and the Gargadon comes into play, and he ends up sending everybody after Trostani. Seems like a good plan, because I've got nothing going on really right here. He tries to provoke the Oracle, but Trostani uses Earthcraft to tap the Oracle to untap some land here. And this drops Trostani down to 4. Okay. So, I end up drawing a Swamp and Promise of Power. I have a dilemma here. I can either get rid of Kessig Wolf Run or Gaia's Cradle with the Vindicate right here. And I'm a little concerned because I don't want to waste Vindicate on Gaia's Cradle if Jacques is just going to kill him next turn. But I don't want to piss off Jacques and have him start sending dudes my way by blowing up his Kessig Wolf Run. So instead, I sort of like sit back on my hands and do nothing. I play my land, I equip my blade, and I Promise of Power, just drawing cards. So the Withered Wretch could come in handy because of the Brawn in Jacques' graveyard. And then Treasury Throw can get me back my Viscopa Guild Mage or whatever else that ends up down there. Strip Mine will be good against either the land of whoever survives. So instead what I do is I just play Pilgrim's Eye, getting a Plains, and then tossing the Plains. Just again to look a little bit weak so that nobody has to worry about me. I do have Darksteel Ingot untapped with Swords of Plowshares in hand. So Trostani plays Trostani, of course. And then he plays Craterhoof Behemoth. Because the Behemoth's a beast, Jacques gets to draw a card, but I don't think it really helps him here. And on top of that, Trostani gains a bunch of life. He's got a bunch of dudes there. So that brings Trostani back up to 17. And basically on the table he has enough to barely kill both of us. So what he does is he sends a bunch of dudes after Jacques and a couple dudes after me. The guys that he sends after me are Craterhoof Behemoth, 1 Ooze token, and Oracle of Moldiah. So that's actually 23 plus 9, 32. So I wouldn't have died, but I would have been hit pretty hard. So what I decided to do is Swords to Plowshares or the Oracle. My plan is to kill off the Behemoth if necessary, and then if I want to, I can bring him back by using the Puppeteer Click. So that's what I do. I Swords the Oracle, and Jacques dies. But by Swordsing the Oracle, it gains Trostani some life. He goes up to 27. So what do I draw? Sunblast Archangel, which is awesome in this case. This also gets rid of the -1/-1 counter on Puppeteer Click and makes him big. Now, Trostani still has a couple of Ooze tokens. I end up I kill the Gaia's Cradle with a Strip Mine. He still has a couple of Ooze tokens and Earthcraft. I end up letting Earthcraft kind of sit around for too long. I should have killed it, but I didn't. And knock him down to 21. I've got Vindicate. I don't want him gaining a bunch of life again, so I end up Vindicating Trostani. Once again, I can sacrifice Puppeteer Click to high market and get back one of Trostani's dudes from his graveyard. More than likely it would be Craterhoof Behemoth, but I just don't have enough guys in my graveyard, or guys in play. I could also do my Tonic Slime and sacrifice it if necessary. So he plays Solemn Simulacrum, and then he Eladamri's Calls for Yavimaya Elder. That's an odd choice, but I think he does it mainly because it's the only thing he can really cast. And he does, using Earthcraft. The stuff I draw isn't really that exciting, but I still have an 8/7 flyer. He's at 21. So he's down to 13 now. And I play a Treasury Thrall just to have a body. I copy my command tower, and then I play Bloodghast, with my plan being, if necessary, to get Craterhoof Behemoth next turn. But it turns out that Trostani doesn't have anything. He ends up sacrificing Yavimaya Elder, hoping to get something interesting, but he doesn't get anything. And he probably wouldn't have been able to cast much. And he concedes. So, I mean, not the most exciting game, but it's one of those games where it pays to have stuff like Swords to Plowshares in your hand. Alright, hope you enjoyed it.